It's a pleasure to have my first or inaugural, here we go, inaugural interviews with extraordinary people, a master of great renown who does not call himself a master, the founder of KaizenTao, Thong Nguyen. Now, Tom, let's tell people how we first met. Um, where did I meet you, and what was your martial background uh, before, if you don't mind, when I first saw you?
Well, we met in Washington, D.C. at Butternut Street when I was going through a transitional time between what I had trained all my life and dance. I was trying to find that milieu, that in between. And so I got the idea of trying Aikido, and I found a wonderful dojo in Merrifield, Virginia called Shinshin Toitsu Aikido, headed by George Simcox Sensei.
Mm.
And he was a Marine that was stationed in Japan and got to train with Tohei Sensei.
Mm.
And he was a very jovial, very large man, looked like a Santa Claus, but he had a very light touch that was very effective. And I had felt that before. Similar to the system
Mm.
founder Rapco that passed away. You know, everyone thinks he's big, so he's using his mass, and everyone's falling for him. But I also felt him, and they had a very similar quality in that they knew how to relax and use what I call efficient power.
Mm.
I used to call it effortless power, but I realized that anytime you move, there's some effort, but efficient is probably closer to what they're doing. And so I think the first thing he showed me was Kokyunage,
Mm.
sitting Kokyunage, where I was sitting there grabbing onto his massive forearms.
Mm.
And then he just relaxed, and next thing I knew, I kind of levitated and got uprooted. And it was nothing like what Sao Tome's school, your school, does, which is a lot of biomechanical leveraging, kazushi, push, pull, yield, leading. He didn't do any of that. He didn't care what you did. He just kind of swelled up in a very soft, elastic way. And then
Mm.
and it's you can tell when you're in the presence of that because it feels very nice. It doesn't feel embarrassing. It doesn't feel offensive. It just feels very nice. It feels like that's what you want to do, even though you're trying not to do it. That's what. And he wasn't pretending it was martial arts at all. So I liked him a lot, and I signed up right away. Unfortunately, he was pretty popular, and so because he could articulate what the traditional system would never talk about. You know, the old saying, if they can't get it by watching, they won't get it by listening. So they never explained. However, Simcox Sensei did explain. And
Mm.
he really believed in I think there were like 13 exercises that Tohei, key society exercises that Tohei taught. I'd seen them before. They looked like Tai Chi, Qigong. He remind me a lot of you, you know, a very pleasant person. You can feel the energy. It's fun to be around those people. But he wasn't there very often. So the next time I came back, I met his second in charge.
Yeah.
And then this guy, when he saw how I moved, he tried to impress me, which was the complete wrong thing to do because I wasn't there to learn kick-ass Aikido. I was
Right.
trying to get a glimpse of what the founder had tapped into.
Mm.
And that segues into why we got along so well because we never pretended to do more than what it was. We followed whatever the exercises were.
Yeah.
We tried to feel what was to be felt as
Yeah.
opposed to thwarting each other or dancing for each other. And to me, that was missing in his
Mm.
assistant instructor.
Mm.
So long story short, he was demonstrating some kind of hugging technique from behind. They pop the arm, turn, the guy rolls. I forget the name, Kokyunagi something.
Yeah.
Ushiro to
Yeah.
kubi,
Yoshiro Kokenage.
something around the back, coconut,
Yeah.
grabbing two wrists from behind. Uh, and then he called me up, and so you know me, I held just like everyone else I saw, and he threw me, and it was beautiful. And all of a sudden he says to me, hold stronger. How are you going to know if it works if you don't hold stronger? And so I said, oh, I can tell it works. You know, I was trying to go along to get along because that's how I learn. I always say we have two ears, two eyes, one mouth. That ratio, you're going to learn a lot more than these people who broadcast too much.
Yep.
So I held him a little bit tighter, and he scolded me again. And he said, you have to really hold me in order to understand. So then I held just a little tighter some more, and all of a sudden he got stuck. And he was a fairly big guy. I'm not going to say his name because he's passed away now, but he was a large guy. He's like my side, but even broader. And next thing I knew, he starts running with his hands trapped behind his back towards the opposite side of the mat, which is into a concrete wall. And I'm thinking to myself, are you serious? You know, you're going to get. I've been around. I know what he's going to do. He's going to run at the last minute, turn around, and dump my head into the wall.
You, yeah, yeah.
And I thought, are you serious? This is insane. You know, you asked me to hold stronger. You can't get out. Remember at that seminar, you can't get out. Now you're mad.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you want? You know, it's not like I was thwarting. I just held stronger, and you couldn't relax more and move. So he's sprinting across the mat, and the mat is a very slippery canvas, as you know. It was those old traditional canvas tatami. And I'm sliding across, hang on to this guy. And at the last minute, he turns around to slam the back of my spine into the concrete. And I'm like, oh, no way. So the minute he flipped around, I let go and dropped. And then he smashes his head and neck against the wall, which would have been me, and knocked
Right.
himself out. So just dead silence like that time with butternuts.
Uh-huh.
Dead silence, and everyone thought he was dead, and I could tell he was. And then he called class, and that was it. And the next day I come back, and everyone says, Sensei wants to see you. And so I go up there, and I couldn't believe it. He first time in my life someone scolded me because I always do what you guys want. You are proof of that. I have never thwarted a soul. When I'm in your school, you're God. And you can do no wrong because I'm there to download and reverse engineer what I'm feeling. So I'm not going to get that if I act the clown and then you don't want to show me. Now I wasted my time. So I thought it was strange that he was so upset. And he says to me, sit down. You're here to learn Aikido. You're not here to show off what you can do. And normally, you know me, I would be quiet and say, yes, Sensei. But this time, I couldn't take it. So I said, I'm sorry. I did exactly what you wanted me to do. I saw what everyone was doing for you. You didn't like it. So you told me to hold you stronger. You told me I can't understand if I don't give you more resistance. I gave you a tad more. I could tell you were getting perturbed. And I still let you do it. And then by the third time, you couldn't do it. And then you try to hurt me. Well, that's not going to happen. So you know what? I'm out of here. And I left. That's what brought me to Butternut Street.
Okay.
I went to you because the gentleman I went to study from wasn't available. Now, he was really cool. He and his wife had a satellite class at Wakefield Rec Center. And he contacted me and said, Norma, I believe is her name. Norma and I are teaching over here. I'd love for you to come join us over there. But by that time, I had already met you guys up there. And I said, unfortunately, I've already signed up. But let me try this out and see what happened. Now, which segues into us. The first day I came into the dojo, it's the same thing. It was an evening class and everyone was rolling. It was jam-packed. They were doing some kind of koshi roll. I think You came in with a showman, get out of the way, catch the arm lever, they roll. And I roll, and next thing I know, I hear famous keeper. We don't need to embarrass people, but
Hmm.
he's training with the
Yeah.
I think it was Fifth Dan at the time, uh,
Yep.
and he tells that guy makes me sick, and he goes, "Who, the new guy?" And he goes, "They were in the lane right next to me." He goes, "Yeah, man, look how he rolls. It took me forever to learn how to roll like that. He's doing it
Yeah.
on the first night." I thought to
Yeah.
myself, "I'm sorry, buddy, but you still can't roll like this." I don't care that you're an instructor here. You just got rank. That's all you have. And so then I started the 10 o'clock class thinking maybe this is different because I heard Satomi Sensei's wife teaches at 10, and she
Right.
was the highest ranking after. So I thought, okay, if these guys want to play badass, I'll just go in the daytime. And
Okay.
that's when we met.